Welcome everybody to our meeting this morning to decide the future for the coastal defences in Tunstall. This is a public inquiry meeting and we have amongst us the council who will be making the final decision about how to manage the rapid coastal erosion at Tunstall along the Holderness coastline. We have with us today a panel of experts who are going to give us some advice and guidance. We have a group of local people, the local stakeholders with their ideas and opinions, and finally we have the two members of the local town council who will be making the final decision about the coastal defences at Tunstall. Well, I think first of all we'd like to hear from our experts. We have our geologists here. So we've got Mr. Emilio and we've got Miss Lucia. If you would like to... Mr. Rock, if you would like to tell us a little bit about the geology of the area.
Yeah, well, we have both arrived at conclusions where we think that no coastal defence should be constructed. We think this because the clay in the coast is material deposited from the Ice Age and it hasn't had any time to form into solid rock. Thus, it isn't worth constructing any type of coastal defence in this uncompacted land. It would just be stupid, a waste of time and a waste of money. A defense is very expensive and the use of it would be a very short period of time because even though it defends, it won't stop 100% the erosion, so therefore the defense will, with the time, be more vulnerable and eventually destroyed.
Basically what we're saying is that we don't want to put up a sea defence because by the time it will erode away, it's just a waste of money to keep on repairing it all the time. Plus if we put up a sea defence, sediment starvation will occur on the towns behind it like Blackstone. This means that the beach behind this sea defence will erode away and that can affect this city more than Tunstall.
Okay, thank you very much. So we've got our opinion from our geologists, which is basically a do-nothing strategy.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, we've got some coastal management engineers here. We've got Mr. Pablo, Mr. Artem and Mr. Javier. Would you like to tell us a little bit about our options for coastal management along this stretch of coastline, please?
Yes. We'll have to build one of these two things, the riprap or the offshore reef. And we decided to build the riprap in this coastal zone of caravans and little urbanization. They look natural and they are not that expensive. The caravans are too close to the beach and they need immediately help. Riprap is the best and most suitable hard engineering method in this occasion. This effective method doesn't change the environment and it will relax the minds of the caravan people and will also protect the road for a long period of time.
Okay, Mr. Pablo, would you like one of your team to come and show us onto our map where exactly you would put the offshore reef?
Mr. Javier will demonstrate this.
Okay, so we've got two suggestions so far.
We'll put it here, in the caravan park, and here.
Okay, would you like to draw it on there, Mr. Javier, to give the council members a good idea of exactly where you propose? So we've got a proposal for two offshore reefs by the Caravan Park and by Seaside Lane. Thank you very much, Mr. Javi. Anything else to add from the engineers?
Yes, that's right. I wanted to say that the riprap absorbs wave energy and protects weak leaves. This process looks quite natural and it will help the caravan park from erosion. It will make erosion stop for a quite long time.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Artem. Mr. Javi, anything else to add?
Yes, it's our responsible to protect that area because there's people living there. So we cannot let the land disappear.
Okay, so we've got a hard engineering solution from our engineers. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so, right, thank you very much. Have you got that, council members? Yes. So far we have a do nothing from our geologists and a hold the line from our engineers. Right, the next people we're going to hear from today are the local environmental group, Miss Fiona and Miss Rachel. What would you like to tell us today?
As environmentalists, we think it would be bad for the animals and plants that would be affected by the interference with coastal protection. It would be selfish to take away wildlife habitats for our own benefit. Animals deserve the right to live just as we do, and we wouldn't like it if the same thing happened to us. Therefore, we think coastal protection is a bad thing and we are against it. So we are against coastal protection, and we don't want to do anything.
Miss Rachel, I believe you wanted to show us some of the impacts on the environment of coastal management.
So if there is a seawall built in Tombstone, the beaches would be created up more the coast. But the sediments below the seawall wouldn't be there, so there would be no salt marshes for the animals that live there.
Okay, so where's this location that's particularly good for the environment?
It's around here, along the coast, so there would be no, salt marshes would get consumed water, so the birds would be the habitat.
Okay, thank you very much. Anything else to add environmentalist? Your do nothing strategy?
No, we wouldn't do anything because it would be bad for the animals and the plants.
Thank you very much. Okay, next we have our local people. Who are we going to hear from the local people? I believe you've got a local farmer and landowner.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Can you show us where your farm is, or?
No.
No.
Our strategy is to hold the line and do some hard engineering and build a recurve sea wall. This protects the base of the cliffs against erosion because it is made of resistant concrete, meaning the land and buildings behind it are protected. It will be a very expensive process, and in the long run it will be worth it. Also, you will not have to repair and redo it in a couple of years.
On the other hand, some other city fences you need to repair them every few years. But with the curved seawall, it lasts for a long time and is much more stronger.
Okay, I believe I've got your farm on here.
Yeah, that's it.
Is this it here? So this is your land here that's being. Do you want to come and point for us, Mr. Edu, exactly which bit of land is yours and how fast it's eroded?
This part, and it's touching the cliffs. So we think that we're trying to put the curved seawall here to stop the erosion.
Okay, what about the caravan park?
Well, I think it should be protected as well.
Yeah, okay. Right, anything else from the farmers? Right, we've got some other local people here, I believe. Yep. Okay. Do you want to come and show us where you are and who you are?
We own the local caravan campsite in Tunstall. Each year we are losing more and more of our land because of erosion. So what we need to do is roll back our caravans. What we plan to do is move our caravans back about 20 metres, but when we do this we need to buy the fields behind us. As this camp is for tourists, I don't think it would be right for us to pay for the sites behind us. So we want to know if the council would pay for the sites behind us.
And we are going to use managed retreat. That managed retreat is decisions that are made by the council. That some areas are allowed to be eroded in some areas. These areas are refused planning permissions. Some places, example, the caravan sites, have to roll back away from the cliff. Some residents can apply for planning permission to move their homes instead.
Okay, so do you want to show us whereabouts would you be moving your caravans to? So which one would you be moving?
There's this, we are going to move it like here and a bit here.
Okay, so who else do you need permission from the council for that? And who else do you need to speak to? Who else do you need help from?
The local people, about farmers, because they have some fields.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very much. Right, so we have some other local people here, I believe, representing the local business community. Would you like to show us where you are on the map and tell us a little bit about... Where's your hotel?
More or less there.
There. Okay, seaside.
So, as the hotel owners, we think our business is very important for the town, as we have the homes for the tourists. though we think it's important that our hotel flourishes, so the town flourishes. Therefore, we think we should do something against coastal erosion as it affects our hotel in a bad way. As a matter of fact, we are important to the town and we think we need help of the council to protect the coastal erosion.
Mr. Collins, do you have anything to add for your... You got it later too, don't you?
Yes, I think what the council should do is let the engineers make a beach replacement because it looks natural, is cheaper and easy to build.
Beach management, okay. Okay. Right, so we've heard from our panel of experts and we've heard from our local stakeholders. So now really it's up to the council to make a decision about what it is that they are going to do. So if we could have your statement please, councillors, and then we'll have some questions.
Okay, so apart myself, I've prepared a speech and my partner will now deliver the speech to you.
We have came to the conclusion that we will have to do nothing because as we saw in Mapleton, they put up sea defence and caused sediment starvation, and this stopped the progress of longshore drift. This would mean that we would have more money for other things, for example roads and for schools. So as you can see, the sea defence isn't priority and it would be too expensive. I hope you understand.
And in response to as Karen said about permission, we shall give them the permission to retreat and to pull back their caravans, but we shall not be paying them the full expense. We shall have a compensation up to 45% of the whole land.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor. Now, does anybody have any questions they'd like to put to anybody else within the group, particularly, I imagine, if you are upset with the Council's decision? Okay, hotel owners over here. Mr. Francisco.
Our hotel is very near to the coast and is affected by coastal erosion. And as I said, we are very important to the town because the tourists have a home in our hotel. And if there's no hotel left, which will possibly happen in some years if we don't stop coastal erosion, the tourists won't have a place to live.
Yeah, I do agree in a way, but also it will cost too much money, and we haven't actually got that much money to do that and many other things. So we could perhaps do some beach replenishment and put some more sand on there, but that won't last very long. So I'm afraid the only option is you have to destroy it and build another one. But we'll give you some compensation for it, but only up to 45%.
Okay, does anyone else have any other questions? Oh, I'm running out of battery. Anyone else have any other questions? Yes, engineer, Mr. Pablo.
What Mrs. Fiona said, that she told us that the riprap damaged the environment and the animals and plants, and that's not true because they look natural and they are just in front of the beach, so the plants are not affected and the animals can swim freely.
Last point. Yeah, go.
Towards Francisco. Yeah, well, if you put any type of coastal defense in front of your hotel, that will decrease the amount of tourism because it usually damages the landscape. So there's any type of other answer.
Exactly. That's why we chose beach replenishment, because beach replenishment looks natural. It just enlarges the beach, so tourists will in fact not stop coming and become more.
Okay, thank you very much everybody for attending our stakeholders meeting about the coastal management at